3 parts, one yesterday, didn't I, for Ella? So I'll do 3 parts, the third part in number 3. Okay, so I have a triangle like so, and then that's in here, right? Okay, this is 60 degrees, this is A, sorry, it's D, and this is E, and they have the same line on this, same symbol on these lines. Okay, so that means those 3 lines are equal, right? See the way they all have the same double mark? That means all 3 lines are equal. Okay, so let's talk about this triangle here first. Okay, over this side, this is 60, and there's a double line here and a double line here. That means it's an isosceles triangle, because that side is equal to that side. Okay, so that's not the 2 equal angles are here at the bottom of the lines, so they're the 2 equal lines. So 60 from 180 leaves 120, so 120 divided by 2 is 60 and 60. So that actually turned out to be an equilateral triangle, right? Okay, but that's what I need, right? To get this one here, I need 2 angles to make a straight line, so they add 180, so that's 120. Okay, so I'm over in this triangle here. This is 120. Again, it's isosceles because these 2 lines had the same symbol on them, so that means they're equal. It's isosceles. It's not that triangle, so or not that angle. So 180 take away 120 is 60. So this one and this one add to 60, and they're both equal because it's an isosceles triangle. So 60 divided by 2 is 30 and 30. So D worked out to be 60 and E worked out to be 30. Is that right? Okay. Anyone need any other questions from any of the homework? Question 9, the middle one, right? Okay, so question 9. Okay, so we have a triangle. Okay, and we have a line across here. The arrows on the line means that indicates they're parallel. And once you've parallel lines, you've the Z or the F, or yeah, Z and F are the 2 letters. Okay, right? So this up here is C. This down here is 100. And this over here is 61. And the question is to find C. Okay, so look, I can do an F on the parallel lines. It's going to be a backwards F. So look, there's an F. See it? Okay, so if that one's 61, it means the one in here is also 61. Okay, and they told me these 2 angles here make a straight line, so that means they add up to 180. So if that's 100, this is 80. Okay, and then in the triangle on top, I have 80 and 61 makes 141. 141 from 180 makes 39. Is that right? Okay, so once you see the arrows on the lines, girls, there's a Z or an F there. Okay, so you have to figure it out. Okay, is that alright? So once you see parallel lines, and that's how they symbolize parallel lines, there's a Z or an F there.
So you just add the 80 and 61 and you get whatever then minus it from 180?
Exactly. So 80 and 61 is 141, from 180 leaves me with 39. Right? Any other question from the homework, please? Anybody? Everything else was fine? Are we sure?
Did you do 19?
19, yeah. Okay, so 19, in the given figure, so we have a triangle here. I get a different pen that writes. So there's a, that's a terrible terrible. Right, they tell me that's a right angle. Right, they tell me this is root 44. They tell me this is 12. And they tell me this is x. Right, I'm not going to draw the other angle, the other triangle for a minute. It's a right angle triangle. Right, I know two sides. How do I get the third side? We've just done trigonometry, so what do? Pythagoras' theorem, yeah? So this is the hypotenuse. So it's the hypotenuse squared equals a squared plus b squared, the other two sides. So that means it's 12 squared equals the square root of 44 to b squared plus x squared. Agree? Okay, that's 144. The square root of 44 to be squared. Square root and square are the opposite of each other, so that's just 44. You have a calculator if you don't remember that. Okay, 144, bring over the 44, minus 44 equals x squared. So you get, I'll go over here if it's okay, you get 100 is equal to x squared. So that means x is equal to 10. Is that okay? So that side there turns out to be 10. Are we good with that? Okay. Next, then I'm going to add in the second triangle, which again is a right angle triangle. Okay. So I've just found out that one of those lines is 10. Right? Okay. This one is 6. And we have to find out why. That's Pythagoras' theorem again, right? It's just in this triangle, sorry, in the top triangle. That's your right angle. So that means this is 10, this is 6, I'm looking for y. This is the hypotenuse, it's straight across from the right angle. So we go, the hypotenuse squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. So the hypotenuse squared is 10 squared is equal to 6 squared plus y squared. So that's 100 is equal to 36 plus y squared. Bring over the 36, so that's 100. Take away 36 equals y squared. So that's y squared equals 64. So that means y is equal to 8. Okay, that's Pythagoras' theorem. You're not getting through your leaving cert without doing a Pythagoras' theorem at least once. Okay, right, so please know it. Okay, y equals 8. Are we good? Right, any other questions so from last night's homework? Were the constructions okay? Did you practice them? Yeah, make sure you practice the constructions, okay? Because there will be one in your pre, there is a construction on your pre, and there will be one in your leaving cert, right? Okay? And they're handy, because you can learn how to do them. Okay, right, on to the next section, so is area of triangles and parallelograms. So I'll do area of a triangle first. Right, okay, so the area of the triangle is, area of a triangle equals area, I'll just draw a triangle instead of writing the word, equals a half multiplied by the base multiplied by the perpendicular height. We know this is just revision, okay, multiplied by the perpendicular height, okay, so that's fact number one you need to know about areas of a triangle. The second thing is, you know, for any triangle, base by perpendicular height does not depend on the choice of base. Now that's a very complicated way of showing base multiplied by perpendicular height does not depend on the choice of base. You know this also, you just probably never written it down. Does not depend on the choice of base. right? So all that means is if I have a triangle, okay, and I say this is the base and this is the perpendicular height, okay, right? Or if I said this was the base, right, and this was the perpendicular height, they both give me the same answer, right? Okay, is that all right? So that's all that second sentence means, is if you chose this as the base and use this perpendicular height, or if you chose this as the base and use this perpendicular height, it wouldn't matter, you get the same answer. Or if you chose the third one as the base and chose that perpendicular height, you still get the same answer. Okay, that's all that sentence means. Okay, and you know this because there's questions like this in the Junior Cert book, right, that you've all done, right? Okay, so you know this, you just probably never written the sentence before. Is that all right? But it's on the course, so I have to write it down and show it to you. Is that all right? Okay, so example. One example, only example. Right, so if I have a triangle and I'm telling you that's a perpendicular height because it makes a right angle, and I'm telling you perpendicular height there is 10 centimeters, and I'm telling you the base is 16 centimeters, and I'm telling you this side here measures 12 centimeters, and I'm missing the perpendicular height here, and so I'm missing the perpendicular height there, so I'm just going to move that 10 centimeters so it looks more, so I have one perpendicular height, I'm missing the perpendicular, the height the other way, and the question is find the perpendicular height, find h, yeah, okay. So this is just using the second statement. So I can get the area of that triangle by using half the base by the perpendicular height. Okay, so if I use a half, multiply by 16, multiply by 10. Is that right? Okay, but if I went the other way and I used a half, multiply by 12, multiply by that perpendicular height, I should get the same answer. Agreed? Right, so if I went a half 16 by 10, I should get the same answer as if I went half 12 by h, yeah? Okay, you can find out what h is. So multiply here and you get 80. Multiply the two numbers you have here and you get half of 12, half multiplied by 12 is 6h. Is that all right? Okay, and then divide each side by 6 and you'll find out that h is equal to 13.3 recurring. Is that right? Okay.
What does the little dot on top mean?
It means recurring. It means it's 13.33333, and I'm tired writing, it goes on forever.
Yes.
Okay, so the little dot on top just means the 3 goes on forever. Is that right? Any questions? Problems? Right. And the second bit of information we need from this section, right, okay, there's very little in this section, is a bit on parallelograms. So area of parallelograms, and again we need 2 facts on a parallelogram. Yeah. Right, if you all know a parallelogram, right, opposite sides are equal and parallel, okay, right, okay, the area, so again we need 2 facts, right, the first fact is the area of a parallelogram is base by perpendicular height. So there's no half. So it's the same as the triangle, but there's no half. And the perpendicular height is the straight up height. Right? Sometimes they give you the straight up height, they might give it to you on the outside. Right? It's the same thing. Right? Okay? So base by perpendicular height. That's the first thing you need to know about a parallelogram. That formula is in the log table, so you don't even need to know about it, you just need to know it exists. Right? Okay? And the second one is a diagonal bisects the area of a parallelogram. So what does bisect mean? Halves it, yeah. So if you have a parallelogram, right, and you draw a diagonal, it cuts the area in half, right? So it cuts it exactly in half. You're allowed to assume it's exactly cut in half because that's a rule. Okay, is that right? Okay, that's all we need to know about that. Okay, I'm going to do a couple of constructions. Am I? What time is it? 10:30? Yeah, I have until 10:50. I'm definitely going to do a couple of constructions. Right, I'm going to give you a few questions on these for homework. So we're going to do page 330 to 331. Let's do 1 to 8. Is that okay? And I'm going to go now and do a couple of constructions. Okay, and as I say, the constructions, go to YouTube, get the maths tutor because they're really good. Did you watch the ones last night? Yeah, they're really good. Okay, so if I don't put up the link, just go to YouTube and search, right, and go for the maths tutor ones because loads of them come up, but the maths tutor ones are really good. Okay, right, okay, constructions, right, okay, so today we're going to trisect a line, we're going to draw parallel lines, right, okay, so what we're using today is your set square, okay, so your set square is the last one to come out, this one, okay, so the triangle with the longer side. Okay, right, in this, girls, the top angle, right, is 90 degrees, right, the top angle is 90 degrees, so, and if you use the other triangle by accident, it's fine, because the top angle in that is also 90 degrees, okay, but this is the one we use, okay, and we use this to draw perpendicular lines, and we use it to draw parallel lines, okay, so the first thing, yeah, the long one, right? Okay, so the one with a long side and a short side. Is that all right? Okay. So where's my biro? Here we are. So to draw lines perpendicular, right? This is really easy, and you won't be asked. But just if I have a line, a straight line, and I have a point up here. And the question is to draw a line draw a perpendicular line through that point. Okay, use the set square. The top angle on this set square, so the top angle up here at the top is a right angle. So you want to line the right angle up, right, on your straight line. So line your right angle up on the straight line. Which way you point the set square is up to you, as in you could go this way or this way. Just as long as that angle is down at the straight line. I'm going this way because the page is too small, right, okay, and I'm going to line it up, right, if you want to use the ruler to make sure it's super straight, if you line the ruler straight up, right, okay, with that, and then you just draw a line through the point. Oh, for God's sake, what not to do. This is why you should watch the maths tutor and not me.
What's this called?
Just drawing a line perpendicular to a line. I'm not even going to give it a title because, right, okay, that was really bad, but you get the idea. Right, sometimes they give you the point on the line. So again, you just line it up, right, okay, the top point, line it up there. You can put the ruler up against it if you want to keep it straight, and then you just draw a line up through it. Is that all right? So effectively, right, this line, this angle up here is a right angle. That's all you need to know, right? So anytime you need to draw a right angle, you can use that triangle, right? So if you're drawing a perpendicular line, you're drawing a right angle, okay? Right, is that okay? So anytime you need to draw a right angle, you can use this. Got it? Right, okay. Next thing I want to do is if you want to draw a parallel line, right, okay. Now, we're going to be using this in a minute. Okay, so here's a line. Here's a point up here. I want you to draw a line through that point that's parallel to that line. Now, you can't guess it, girls, because if you're guessing it, it's not accurate. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to use this set square again. I only ever use this one. I don't use the other one at all. Okay, so you don't need to be confused about what one to use. Just use this one. Okay, right. So what you do is you line it up so it's straight with the line, and then at the side use your ruler to jam up against the side so it doesn't move. Okay, so line up your set square with the line, the original line. Right, okay. Jam the ruler up the side so it doesn't move, right, and you can slide. See the way you can slide? And then you slide up to your point, and when you've slided up to your point, you draw a line. Is that okay? So I'll go through that again. So you get your set square, line it up so it's with the original line. Okay? Sorry? Oh, the original line can be any length. We're not measuring length here, we're just drawing a parallel line. So you're just drawing a parallel line. So you line it up and you put the ruler in at the side of it so the set square, you can slide the set square all over the page, right? And you can still have it, keep it in the same space. You can still keep it parallel. Now I moved mine, right? Okay. So you line it up, and then you can move it, slide it. If you jam the ruler, you can slide it any direction, and then stop wherever you want to stop and draw your parallel line. And then your parallel lines, right? Okay. Will anyone ever know that you use the set square to draw the parallel line? No, but it's very hard to get a parallel line exact without using the set square. Okay, right? And they will check it, right? If they asked you something as simple as this in your leap star, they would get out the set square and slide it to see was it exact. Exact is really important.
Do they just give you the point?
Yeah, they'll give you the original line and the point. Right, okay, so they'll give you the original line and the point and say draw a parallel line through that point. Okay, but as you see, there's no construction lines, so no one can see that you actually used your set square, but they will measure it with the set square to make sure it's exactly parallel, because to the eye is always completely off, right? I don't know what you're like, but there's no point in chancing again. Now, the reason we need to do all this is because we need to trisect a line segment, right? So you need to divide a line segment into 3 equal parts. Just make a list of all the constructions in your notes. Okay, don't do them in your notes because it'll just be a checklist for yourselves. Because you're going to go, and if you forget how to do them, so when you're revising, you start at number 1, can I draw that? Number 2, yes, can I draw that? Number 2, I can draw that. Number 3, I forget how to do that, off you go to YouTube and look it up.
What
right?
This one called to show that this one we just did.
Drawing a parallel line. Okay, you won't be asked anyone as simple as that. The reason we're doing the parallel line one is we're going to be using it here. Divide a line segment into 3 equal parts. Right, okay, so basically we have a line, any length, right? Okay, so they're going to give us a line. And they're going to say, divide that into 3 equal parts. Now you could measure it, divide it by 3 and mark off 3 equal parts, but that's not how you do it. Okay, right? So you could measure it and then divide it into 3 equal parts and you get 0 marks because that's not how you do it. Okay, so how to do this is, if you want to divide that line into 3 equal parts, that's your end goal, right? You draw an arm, right? An arm is just draw an angle. Okay, so draw an angle. There we go. Is that alright? Step 1, draw an arm. Right? Step 2, get your compass. Right? Make an arc with your compass, not too big, not too small. Not too big because you'll run out of paper, and if you make it too small it gets really fiddly. Right? Okay? So make an arc with your compass, and you're going to not move this 3 times, so make sure you can wave your compass around and it won't move. If you wave your compass around and it moves, you need a new compass. Right? Okay. So you put the point of your compass at the start of the line. Got it? Right, okay. And on the arm you've just drawn any length, right, okay, mark off an arc. So cut it off. Is that alright? Do not adjust your compass, right? Then move the point up to where that arc cuts the line, right, and draw another line. Yes? Another arc, and then you're going to draw a final third arc. Okay, so you end up, are you all with me? A line with 3 arcs in it there. Yeah, like so. Right, now, where the third arc cuts the line, join that to the end of the original line. Right, so it needs to go to the end of the original line. This is where people go wrong. They don't join it to the end of the original line. So it has to go to the end of the original line. Got it? So it looks like a triangle now. Okay? So what we need to do, girls, is we need to draw through here and here, we need to draw a parallel line. You know the way we just learned how to draw a parallel line? Right? So what we need to do is we need to line up our set square so that it's with the on the parallel line, and put the ruler up at the side of it. Put the ruler up at the side of it so we can slide, right? So the whole point of the ruler is to keep it in position, right? So then we slide, and I moved the set square, but I kept the ruler in the exact same spot, so I'm good. So slide it down until you get to the arc, and then you draw another line.
To the second arc.
To the second arc. Keep it in position, right? Okay. Keep it in position and slide it down again to the first arc. And when you get to where the first arc intersects, you draw another line. And then your original line is, see the original line? It's cut into 3 equal parts. Okay? So I will go again. Here's a line. Cut it into 3 equal parts. So you draw an arm, right? An arm, it doesn't matter where you put it. Just draw an arm. Doesn't matter which direction you go. So I might make it even smaller this time, just to be different. Okay? So it doesn't matter what size, angle or anything, just draw an arm, that's called. Okay, get your compass, you're making 3 arcs. So you start here, right, again, make your arcs, you're going to draw 3 without adjusting. Don't make them too big, don't make them too small. So draw your arc, don't adjust, move the tip to where that arc cuts, draw another one, and then move it on again. Is that okay? Are we good? Right. Now this is the bit where people go wrong. So where the third arc intersects the arm, join it to the end of the original line. Okay, I can't stress that enough. The end of the original line. So draw it to the end of the original line. And then you're going to draw 2 parallel lines to that. Okay, so you get your set square, you line it up. I might... Okay, hang on now. Yeah, I'm going to go this way because it's easier. Right, line it up. Right, jam your ruler at the side so you can slide. So you slide and draw your line and then slide some more, and it's going to end up, yeah, I've run out of paper, but we'll pretend I slided some more and I ended up here. The seam of my book was blocking. Right, and then the original line is divided into 3 equal parts. Is that okay? Right, so homework tonight, the questions I gave you, 1 to 8, and I want you to practice these at least twice, and I'll put up a link for YouTube if I have time. Okay? Right.